Some would say, boom, here we are again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. And as always, I'm your host, David Burrows. Thanks for stopping by here. Hope you had a good weekend. As always, I like to find out. Wherever you're watching from, please share your comments in the comments section. We're multicasting, if you will, on several different hubs around the world. And if you want me to see your comments, or if you want to ask your questions to our guests, right above my horns there in the comment section. Or maybe it's below. No, I think it's up there. It's up there somewhere. Please say hello. Love to know what you did on your weekend. And yeah, I don't know if you know. So I try to rearrange the studio every once in a while. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but look at Gordy right here. That was back in, I believe, 2015. Yeah, down at Rock the Park in London, which I haven't been to in a while, but I'm thinking of going this year. Never know. And I've got a bunch of pictures that I was able to take of him. Had them in a box somewhere, and I thought, oh, it's about time to put Gordy up on the wall, right? So how you doing, everybody? Hope if you're watching this live right now, it's like 15 degrees out there right now. Let's why don't we find out? Let's ask somebody, shall we? Alexa, what's the current temperature?
Right now, it's 14 degrees Celsius. Tonight, expect a low of 6 degrees.
It's 14 degrees out right now as of the live broadcast of this show. It's just unbelievable. So my brother-in-law, who also has a motorcycle, he sent me this picture. He's going to be mad because he's like, don't show my picture. You can't really see it, but he like sent me a picture of him on his motorcycle. He has the same motorcycle, except mine's bigger and a whole lot louder. Just saying. He texted me earlier. He said, I don't know what you did today, but I know what I did. Because mine's still in the garage, and he knows that. Today's show day, so Scott, I couldn't get out. But I'm looking forward to getting out. Now, for those of you, well, Danny's out there. Well, let's go out and say hello to everybody who's saying hello to me. Jesse's out there saying hello. Thanks for stopping by, Jesse. Danny Cacciamilio, good afternoon to you, sir. I miss you, buddy. We got to get together. Dom's out there. Hello again, Dom, and Mr. Loxton watching as well. I appreciate your loyal fans watching. Danny might be able to help me with this because he rides a motorcycle. So, like, today's a nice day, and I could get on the bike no problem, and it wouldn't be too cold or whatever. I mean, it would be slightly, but, you know, I got a big coat on and stuff like that. And some people say, yeah, but there's still salt and sand and crap on the road. Do I wait for a rainfall? It could hurt the bike. I don't know. Like, as long as I take it out and wash it, Danny, am I okay or what? I've YouTubed it, and there's just so much debate on whether you should or shouldn't, or do I wait? And then every once in a while, a motorcycle goes by my house here, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I want to go out, but I don't know. What do you think, Danny? Do you got any advice? 17 degrees Celsius, you say? Well, I don't know what you're looking at. Alexa says something different. What does Siri say? Let's see what Siri says. Wow. It's saying 16 degrees right now. It was 17. That's crazy, right? See, and then tomorrow, where are they? I can't do anything without these darn glasses. See, then tomorrow it's supposed to be warm, but it's going to rain, right? And then it'll be sort of warm on Wednesday, and then Thursday rain again. So then, like, it'll wash all the crap away, won't it? But then I have to wait till next week because it's going to be, well, I say it's going to be cold. It's going to be like 3 degrees out there. We don't have, oh, right. Well, that's a good point. Oh, hello, Christine is out there as well. Almost time for AC. Love motorcycles too. It's that time of year. Yeah. Well, is it? Well, yeah, we don't have sand. That's right, Danny. I'll be fine. He says he'll be fine. Just stay on main roads and highways. Well, yeah, you know, like, what else we got? And Christine says, go for it. And well, and Danny, I'm kind of leaning with what you said. We don't have a lot of salt in the roads now because we didn't have much of a winter. Well, that's true. Now. Here's the thing. We're all getting excited. It's 15 degrees out. It's going to be 7, 12, and 13. Are you saying that winter's over? Is winter over? Or is Mother Nature just fiddling with us? And then give us some more, I don't know. Hard to say. Google says 16. Everybody's on my side to get on the bike, I think. It is the windy Sarnia. It is. And then we've got Stefan Morrison. Oh, he's got a cool car. Hello. What kind of car is that he's got going on there? Very good. All right. Well, we'll come back to it. Because, see, I remember last year, it is last year, Christmas, not too long ago. I had the bike out. The last time I had the bike out was Boxing Day, December 26th. It was a beautiful day. I rode my motorcycle to our family Christmas, which my brother-in-law was at, and he didn't get to bring his bike. So what he did was just kind of back in my face. It's like, I'm out on a bike, and I know you're not. But I don't know if you saw in that picture. I'll show you again. Where'd it go? It's probably hard to tell. I should have had it up here. But if you look, like he's out on his bike, right? But there's snow in the background. So there you go. Online NASCAR. What's I'm not answering that. Jinxing Sarnia. Yeah, good one. Mother Nature is drunk and Father Time is baked. Well, I've been saying ever since they legalized marijuana, Mother Nature's been doing whatever she wants. Christine says, not sure if winter's over, but live today like it's your last. Do what you love. Well, I actually am, right? Create your life, all that stuff. I got some new stuff on the wall here. I was talking about that. And then this year was, my daughter's going to be like, oh, Dad. My daughter made that for me when she was knee-high to a grasshopper, and I came across it. I thought, oh, I'm going to hang that up. Why not? Okay, all right. Apparently, I have a show to do, so I better do that, but I appreciate the comments. Keep the comments coming along. And, well, let's talk about the Sarnia Sting. Like, wow. What a week they've had winning, right? Like all of it now. Sarnia Sting is more than a game. And the game happened this past Thursday as well, actually, at Match Eatery in the Point Edward Casino. We did a captain's corner where the people could come in and ask their questions from the audience. And we were happy to be there and live stream it for the Sarnia Sting. So we had comments coming in from Twitter and Facebook, including the one and only Ben Gaudreau, who is definitely making a mark for himself in the OHL, on the Sarnia Sting, but in the OHL. Had an incredible week dancing on his head again, or as my friend Danny would say, he's got a spine like a slinky, and he was using it for sure. But they came through, and it's been a tough year, a rough year for the Sarnia Sting. But what I can say from observing and being at every single home game, they don't quit. They know, okay, they messed up and they've done this and that. I'm not going to say whatever. They know it. You don't have to tell them. But they still got a positive mindset going on. More than a game brought them to a 4-1 win. And this is your Sarnia Sting recap brought to you by Oswald's Diner. More than just a diner, not just another diner. And Active Ears Hearing Center, where better hearing begins with you. 4-1. Fantastic. And back-to-back goals. And Jacob Perreault got 2 goals in there, and in the first 3 minutes they were on the board, and away it went. And the final score there, 4-1. It was a great hockey game, beating Guelph, which was is a much higher ranked team, and they did very well against them. So congratulations to the boys on that. The next game coming up at home is Friday, March the 13th. No, I will not be going to Port Dover. And I don't know that I'll ever do Port Dover, quite honestly. Yeah, I'm just not sure I'm a fan of that. Get the bike in Tune, test her out. Yeah. The Sarnia Sting, 4-1. Congratulations to them on that. We did catch up with Jacob Perreault, who had 2 goals coming out at the end of it all. And he was happy to give us some time and talk to him about what just happened out there to make it work. And we're going to take that interview right now, and then I'll be back. Here's Jacob Perreault with the Sarnia Sting.
Here post-game with Jacob Perreault, 2 goals and assist, tonight's first star. Talk to us about the importance of that start, and again, another home win. I think that's back-to-back home wins for the first time since I think the beginning of November. It must feel good to kind of get things rolling here on home ice.
Yeah, it feels good for sure. I think everyone came here ready to play today, and I think it helped us out throughout the whole game. And I think it was fun today. We played loose, and we just had fun and didn't worry about anything else.
Even going back the last few games, again last week against the Sioux, again I thought you guys played a really good game here. That game the other night in London, again I thought you guys 60 minutes battled hard. It was a good hockey game, and you brought it right back in here again this afternoon.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think lately we've been playing a lot better hockey than throughout the middle of the season, and obviously with Ty Voigt out right now, it's tough, but it just gives the opportunity for other guys to step up and be in our top 6. So I think it's something special, and just for the young guys to just take in and enjoy it.
Juggle the lines a little bit there tonight. You start with Ryan McGregor. Didn't take you guys long. 2 quick goals. You guys get the second one. Obviously, a nice feed from you from behind the net. What was it like playing up there with McGregor today? Yeah,
I think we've always played pretty well together, and we've always had that chemistry. So it was a lot easier playing with him, and Braden, he played pretty good today. So it's fun to play with those guys, and they could keep get me the puck, I could get them the puck, they could both score, so it's fun to play with.
For these last 6-7 games, how do you sort of balance, personal goals versus what you want for the team?
Yeah, just try to come to the rink every day and give it your best. If it's practice or a game, just come ready to play, give it your all, and do whatever you can do to improve your game.
Were you thinking about that 40th at all after you got the first 2?
Yeah. I mean, it was a hat trick too, so it would have been pretty special, and hit the goalie's knob a couple times at the end, so you just got to let it go and just come back next game even harder.
And just in terms of, staying motivated, what is it like for the guys knowing, okay, after last night, we're not making the playoffs?
Yeah, I think just having fun, just coming to the rink, you're playing the game you love, so just keep that in mind and just give it your all.
All right, there you go. Jacob Perreault giving us some conversation after. And you heard in there, like, it would have been, so he got those 2 goals. If he'd have got a third, not only would he have gotten a hat trick, but it would have been his 40th goal. Just amazing talent. And that's, I guess, probably what the frustration has been as part of this team this year is we see players like Jacob Perreault, Sean Jostling, Sam Bittens, there's a whole bunch in there that are doing some fantastic things. The talent is there. As my friend Danny Cacciamilio would say, but maybe they just weren't gelling like they need to be. You got to have that gel going on there. But still coming out and having fun, like Jacob Perreault said. Jacob, thanks for your time there. Appreciate that. And go Sting go, right? They'll be back on Friday the 13th. That's why I'm not going to Port Dover. Danny says, you got to go to Dover. Best day ever. I don't know. There's another one up Ipperwash way. Anyway, Sarnia Sting will be back taking on Owen Sound, playing host to them. Friday the 13th. Danny, do you want to join me for that one? Give Jay Peckham a break. Can you help me with that one? Friday the 13th. Danny, if you want to join me for the Sarnia Sting on that one, it's yours. All right. Once again, that was your Sarnia Sting recap brought to you by Oswald's Diner and our friends at Active Ears Hearing Center, where better hearing begins with you. What'd you say? All right. Coming up this Tuesday, tomorrow, if you're watching this live, Tuesday, March the 10th from 7 to 8:30 at the Sarnia Library Theatre with Dr. Pearson. Dr. Pearson is a specialist in cannabis medicine, particularly CBD. I can honestly say I have seen him speak in public. My father has Alzheimer's, and he works with Alzheimer's patients with CBD as well. This guy knows his stuff, put it that way. So if you want to learn more about CBD and cannabis as a medicine to help with pain, and it's quite a story that he's going to share. You go see him tomorrow night at the Sarnia Library Theatre from 7 to 8:30 p.m. I'm hoping to get there myself, so maybe see you there. But if you want to know, this is the guy to find out from cannabis as a medicine with Dr. Pearson. Also coming up Tuesday night, every Tuesday night it's been happening, open mic night at the Blue Line Pub and Lounge. I wanted to say grill, but it's the Pub and Lounge. Downtown Sarnia, the old mixed lounge, if you will, 180 Front Street. And our friends from Beer Store Money are there, always having it. It starts at 7 and goes to 10. It's supposed to be 7 to 10. It always goes longer than 10 because they're having so much fun down there. And they're great entertainers, Melissa and Chris and the whole group down there, and lots of locals coming in there. It's a good turnout on a Tuesday night. Yeah. Don't say, oh, there's nothing to do on a Tuesday night. Oh my God. I'm telling you, go to the Blue Line. All right. On a Tuesday night, every Tuesday, 7 till ish. Right. Danny says, okay, sounds good. You're going to be there. Okay. So Danny's going to join me at the Sarnia Sting game there. We just made a date. Awesome. Thanks, Danny. Now, more happening at the Blue Line Pub and Lounge. Can you guess what it is? Before I click, I got my finger on the trigger right here. Can you guess what's happening at Blue Line? Every Wednesday night now, karaoke live. Yes, karaoke is going to be happening there every Wednesday from 7 to 11. And I'm going to be there this Wednesday. Karaoke Live is my karaoke brand. But my friend Melissa Kelly, or Mel Kelly, who also works at the radio station, she loves karaoke and loves to sing, and she's just a lot of fun. She knows how to have a good time. She's going to be the host every Wednesday night from 7 to 11 at the Blue Line Pub and Lounge. And we hope you'll come out and hang out. Even if you don't sing, Danny, come on out and have some beverage. They have food there as well. And just have a good time. The Blue Line Pub and Lounge, it is a new great place to hang out. And there's something going on there every night of the week. So you see Tuesday, we've got open mic. We've got karaoke on Wednesday. Thursday, they have entertainment. On the weekends, they have entertainment and a DJ at night. A lot of fun. Come on down there and say hello to us. I will be there along with your host, Mel, with Karaoke Live every Wednesday, 7 to 11 at the Blue Line Pub and Lounge, 180 Front Street here in Sarnia. Theatre 42 coming up on this Saturday weekend. This is going to be funny. I'm hoping I can make this. Theatre 42's comedy night with Aaron and Alan Hopkins. Funny people. And hosted by, and this is actually, no offense, Hopkins, Chris Norton, who I've known for years and is local here. He's been in Sarnia Sings as well. Hilarious guy. He's going to be host along with other special guests. 2 shows. This is how popular they are. 2 shows, 7 and 9 o'clock. It's going to happen down at Theatre 42. And Theatre 42 is down at the corner of Indian and Divine. It's the old, I call it the 914 Hall. I still call it the 914 Hall. But that's where Theatre 42 is. Comedy night. Pull out a $10 bill. You're in. What a cheap date night. $20 for 2 of you. You're in the door. There's a cash bar there as well. And Theatre 42's got a great setup in there. Tickets will go fast for this, as it has in the past for their comedy nights. And they have other things going on there as well. So check it out. Hopkins and Hopkins, along with, hosted by Mr. Chris Norton himself. All right. I want to talk about this. Going to put this full screen just for a minute. My friend Dom Fernandez, who, of course, you know, if you followed along, has MS and has for quite some time. And he has written a book, or is in the process of completing that book. And it's cost quite a bit of money to put this book together. And so he's asking for some help. And we're going to be doing some other stuff, hopefully, to help raise some money for Dom to get everything paid off, to get the book published. So they're going to have a fundraiser bake sale at 124 Queen Street in the community room, which is where Dom lives, just over here on Queen Street. And they're having a fundraiser bake sale. They're going to have soups and they're going to have, well, baked stuff, right? So if you'd like to help Dom out and you could take some time on Saturday, April the 4th, starts at noon. Come on down, show your support, noon to 5. All proceeds will go to taking care of getting this book published. And it's really important to Dom for obvious reasons because he has MS. But 40% of all the sales from this book will go to the MS Society. So he's paid to get this book done and assisted to have it published and everything else. And it's been quite a long process. It's coming closer and closer to the end of it. I think there's about I want to say about a $3,500 bill left to get this taken care of. So if you can help in any way, I am reaching out to all of you watching. Even if it's a donation, if you want to make a donation, reach out to me. I'll tell you how you can do that, or come out and support and help make Dom's dreams come true of getting this book published. There's going to be homemade soup and baked goods and pop and bottled water for sale coming up on April the 4th. So pick these up. Here's what you do, right? And you just go like this. Clickety, clickety, do April 4th, fundraiser for Dom. Okay, put it in there, please. He's worked very hard on this book, and he's one of the most positive guys I know. Let me tell you. We've had him on the show here before. He's watching right now, I know, but yeah, cool. We'll be talking more about that as the date comes closer. When is it? April 4th. That's right. You got it. I heard you. Okay. Very good. You heard me talk about Sarnia Sings, and you've heard me talk about it for quite some time. We had it's been interesting. Volume 4. This is the 4th year for this Sarnia Sings. Adam Dumond, who is a real estate agent here in town, but he's also a great community supporter. And he created this and brought this to Sarnia. And it's happening on Wednesday, April the 22nd. Tickets are now on sale. They're only $30. And it will support mental health and suicide awareness. And there's a special Dumond Foundation. And anyway, we were able to catch up with Adam Dumond. And I wanted to ask him, why did you start this? How did you start this? What's it all about? And why is it important to him? So we caught up with Adam Dumond. We're going to take you to that interview right now. Take a look with Adam Dumond, and then I'll be back. Here's Adam Dumond and Sarnia Sings. Well, coming up really soon, a very exciting performance of Volume 4 of Sarnia Sings. You've heard me talk about it on the show. And here today, we've got the founder of Sarnia Sings, Adam Dumond. Thanks for being here, man.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Dave. How are you?
This is exciting times. This started 4 years ago, an idea that you brought forward here to this community. Tell me how you came up with this.
I was, believe it or not, I was at a real estate conference in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And a networking event they put on for us was basically like a karaoke event, but with a full live band. And, you know, you have 200 some odd realtors in a room, drink. We're all best friends. And anyway, we got the organizer of the event didn't think anyone was going to go up on stage. She's like, this is going to be the worst networking event ever. No one's going to go up on stage. So then we had, I told her, I was like, I'll do it. If you need me to be the first one, I don't care. And I think I was first or second, whatever, and I sang, oh geez, what song was it? Anyway, I can't think of the name of the song. It was a while ago. This was about 5-6 years ago now. And
but you got up there.
Did it, and then the band, was just electric. And you feel, I did okay. I wasn't great. I'm not a singer at all. And so I came off Use Somebody by Kings of Leon, right? Love Kings of Leon was the song I sang. So anyway, get off stage, couple high fives, guy buys you a drink, people are like, I didn't know you could sing. I'm like, I don't, but thank you. But the band really brings you up, and they're singing with you. You're taking leads off them. They're all doing their guitar solos, and playing with a live band is definitely different. So I brought home that experience, and I had a great time. And then the one thing that stuck with me, the band, because I was like, man, this is awesome. What a great night. This got to be one of the, because it was home runs all night.
Right.
A lot of people going up there just singing the songs that they know.
Probably surprisingly, wow, I would have never thought you were
exactly
singer, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So then the band tells me, it's like, anywhere between 5 and 10% of any population can sing. So again, I brought all this experience home with that little bit of nugget of 5 to 10% of any population can sing.
Right.
And they were like, they could sing one song. It's hard to find someone that can sing a lot of songs.
Yeah.
But usually a lot of people can sing a song. Mm-hmm. There's, they know their balance is.
Where they belong in it.
So then it was, there's a need in town for good fun, in my opinion, different fundraisers out there. It's got to work for everybody. It's got to work for the participants. It's got to work for the charities and the sponsors. And if it doesn't, it really falls flat. It looks very salesy. Right. So anyway, just stewing about how to get the show started, and I want to do something for mental health, suicide prevention here in town locally. I'm also passionate about women's shelters as well. So I decided to come up with my own foundation and say, avoid the politics of fundraising, because that is just...
It can be, for sure. Yeah.
An unreal world. So I said, no one can tell me what to do and what not to do if I have my own foundation. So started the Dumond Foundation, and then the first event I said, well, let's put this on. I partnered up with the Sarnia Community Foundation, who gave me some guidance on what I need to do to organize an event like this, because you don't want to go down this road and 2 weeks before the event have to pull the plug. It looks terrible. So with their guidance, I got some sponsors together, Royal LePage being a gold sponsor since the beginning, which has been hugely helpful. This year we got another gold sponsor in Cooperator. So Fabian and Frank Filia of Cooperators teamed up this year, and another gold sponsor. So really, really cool to see the passion behind the sponsorship, because doing an event like this, you're constantly looking for sponsors.
Yeah.
But as you know, you've been helping from the get-go. Sponsors really, I haven't really had to sell the show.
No.
I usually just talk about it, and people are like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
You don't really have to sell them or convince them that it's a good thing to do. People get behind it and they love it. So anyway, and then I put Sarnia to the test. I was like, all right, is there 5 to 10% of us that can sing a song?
Right.
I called the band in Toronto. I Googled them, and there's a band that'll go around and do this.
Yeah.
They're called Rockstar Live, just unbelievable
and they're
group
real,
of guys.
let's point out, they're real rock stars, like Big Wreck drummer, I think, and
Jeff, the bass player, plays in Moist.
Right, and
The
Killer
lead-
Dwarves.
Killer Dwarves is the lead guitar player.
Like, these are some cool dudes, man.
Yeah, so they all come from their own background, but then they also do this, right? Like, just unbelievably talented guys. I remember somebody had to try to make a switch. They couldn't sing in a certain key.
Oh, right.
So they tried to switch the key, and they asked the band if they could do that, and it was like minutes before the show.
Yeah, I remember that.
So then I'm sitting there like
it's kind of
instant flop sweat, right? Because you're like, I'm as nervous as could be already, and then I'm like, what are you doing? And anyway, they were just like, guys, we're doing it in the key of whatever. I'm not a musician. And they're all like, okay, fine. And that was the end of it.
Yeah, it's cool. Right?
What was the other one that, remember the year they brought, I told them I wanted them to, start the show by doing a mashup of 3 songs.
The
So
Steven Tyler thing.
No, that was another year. But like
Right.
I told them, I was like, can you do a mashup of 3 songs? And Jeff, the lead of the band, was no problem.
Yeah.
So then I get there, I was like, okay, did you guys decide on your mashup song? Just want to let the lighting people know so that they can kind of go with you. And he looked at his drummer. He's like, oh, I forgot to tell you we're doing a mashup. And the drummer's like, what? And this is, again, like this is minutes before we go on.
Curtains have not opened yet.
Yeah, curtains are about to open. And anyway, he's like, we're going to do this song, this song, this song. Drummer's like, okay. And that was the end of it.
They just did it.
And they just did it. Like the talent of these guys is world class. And anyway, so they absolutely love coming here. They as soon as they know they're getting busy, they let me know when is it. We got to put it on our calendar
right away.
They really give us some priority access to them, which is so cool. And just meeting them, and they've actually asked if I could go to Kingston.
Oh, yeah.
And try to do another event there.
There you go.
But you got to have the local boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, then let's talk about the local. We've reached out. I remember the first year you came along to me and said, and you sort of said it already. You asked for help with these things. You just said those words. Mental health and suicide prevention and awareness. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. And we did the carpool karaoke. That was a lot of fun. And then it seems like from the first one to now, people, you don't even have to ask people, would you like to be in this? They're just like going,
yeah, we were
how
really
do I get into this?
Right. So the big thing was, okay, we got a band.
Yeah.
And then I went around, talked to some sponsors, and we got sponsorships, so the show can go on.
Yeah.
And then it was a big jump of, okay, who can sing?
Right.
And then I had to, I brought on Liv Gogus, who, right from the get-go, I said, is there enough people out there? And she was just so friendly and so like open to this whole thing, and she was like, yep, I can get you this person. She basically stacked our show for 2 years of singers, because she's such a big theater person. And every year, all ages, young kids, up to I think our first year we had 86-year-old Muriel.
Oh yeah,
on
that's
stage.
right.
just standing ovation type of stuff. And
so Marilyn Gladue is in there, but in previous years too.
Yeah, so and then we try to really, we were headhunting is really what I call it. We were looking for people that had a certain, I guess you could say, popularity in the city, so they could help us sell tickets. That's kind of the win-win. But the surprises too. I always bring up Maria Maiola. Didn't tell anyone that she likes to sing. Only sings for her kids, and she wrote me, and she's a client of mine, and said, I think I might like to do this. And then I said, oh boy, I hope you're good, kind of thing. I don't want to have to say no to a client of mine, right? So then she says, she sends me a little thing and voice thing, and I'm like, yeah, you're in for sure. Cool. So anyway, we were headhunting for years. So this is the first year that we decided to do open auditions. Yeah. Which was a little worrisome as well, because we were like, who are we going to get?
Who's going to show up? Yeah.
And then, because sometimes there's going to be people who are good, and there's some people who, think they're good.
Right.
And then you're going to have to balance that out. How do you say no to some people and yes to some others?
And it turned out awesome. It was a really tough process.
It was really,
to go through.
Everyone actually was fairly good, and picking everybody was difficult. So, but I did like that setup this year, right?
Well, it was good. I thought just being a part of that too, I was like, there was a buzz happening, and there was, everybody was waiting here in the room to go and have their turn. They could hear the others singing, and it was a good, fun.
It's a little different, I think it helped with marketing too.
You throw it out pressure, there, right? But that's okay, competitive pressure.
And then, man, I'll be putting out some videos to promote in the future here. But some of these auditions, I was just like, what song are you singing? What was that one girl she brought up?
Oh, and I remember.
It was a Sia song. Oh, Alive by Sia. And she just knocked it out of the park.
And I remember she started, and you were like, okay, quiet. And then all of a sudden, boom, and we were like, holy. Okay.
So I wasn't in this room here where everyone else was waiting, but I could just imagine them hearing that going, okay, well, she's in.
Yeah.
Or
I got that because I was back and forth between both rooms, and there was a bit of that. Ooh,
hello,
which is great, right? Well, let's talk a little bit more too about the purpose behind all of this, which again is the suicide prevention, awareness, and mental health. Why did you decide on that topic? There's a lot of things you could have done, but it was that in particular you wanted to speak.
Yeah, specifically, I didn't like the politics of fundraising, especially when it comes to something that to me, I don't want to. Could you imagine that all this money that we're raising for the past 4 years couldn't be done because someone said, oh, you shouldn't do, or you can't give to this person, or you can't ask that person for sponsorship because they sponsor this person. All these no's and all this politics. I was so upset that I have kids, and a lot of clients who have kids are just that are friends of mine. You would hate to think that they would slip through. So to me, I think the biggest thing is I wanted an undercurrent of just awareness to say there's a lot of holes in this. Between there's great people doing great work in their respective areas, but I really didn't like how they weren't talking to each other.
Yeah.
Or I always bring up an example. Okay, if the hospital is for whatever reason very busy, or that person wasn't asked the right questions, where do they go next?
Right.
There should be kind of a fail-safe. There should be some sort of anyway. So the biggest undercurrent of this whole thing is I want everyone to be talking to each other, because heaven forbid one of our kids or someone's having an issue and they don't know what to do.
Just don't want anybody slipping through the cracks.
And
trying to fill those potholes.
Yeah, so that's where it started, and then I think from there the other biggest thing that I really didn't realize was the amount of people that are willing to open up and talk about it.
Yeah.
But there really wasn't too much out there as far as being okay to talk about it. Now, Sarnia Speaks is another unbelievable organization that Danielle Catton puts on, and people are open and willing to talk there.
In a safe space.
Which that was put on by her own making as well, right? That came from her.
Yeah.
And this again is in parallel with her to say yes, we need more platforms. We need more awareness to say that it's okay if someone's struggling for something, people forget the stats. 1 in 4 people are going to need or going to suffer through some sort of mental health throughout their life. They don't know when that's going to be, but 1 in 4 people, like those, when you start to get into some of the stats on stuff, and you see, again, it comes back to being a dad, being a friend, having clients and stuff. Like, I want people to know if they were ever in trouble, they a phone call to me, and there's no issue, there's no judgment. I think that's the biggest thing, is people are scared to.
People still trying to stomp that stigma.
Yeah, and that I think is it's always going to be tough. People don't know what to do. So the person that maybe is coming to our shows, maybe to see someone of their friends sing, also they get a little bit of, it's okay to talk about it. Well, here's some things to look out for. Here's some stats.
That's a big part of it, is the talk, right? In fact, going through this process this year, I discovered a few people that I've known for years that spoke up about some personal issues that they had, and it was like, wow, I had no idea.
Right.
So it makes you wonder, like you say 1 in 4, but it's really 4 in 4. True. Everybody's affected by it somehow. Right?
There could be like varying degrees. Some people are good at dealing with it on their own. Some people don't want, they don't want the judgment. They feel embarrassed or whatever about talking about it. So I completely understand all of that. So the stats are staggering, right? And when you get to a point, especially here in Sarnia, we're a big town. We're a city, but we're a big town. A lot of people know everybody, and unfortunately, when something does happen, it vibrates through our community within minutes. And so, anyway, I just want to put my hat in the ring to say, here's a cool event. When you do come to it, it is fun all night.
You're gonna have a good time, 100%.
But at the same time, there's maybe a little bit of undercurrent. Like, I think I've always said, it's the best audience to sing in front of.
It totally is.
Because you can't screw up. Because we'll probably screw up. More than anybody. Or it's just a good.
It's a feel-good vibe.
Honest, people come out of there, and that was another thing.
It's honest,
They just come out and they're just like, wow, that's like, what a powerful night. You know what I mean? Like, what a cool night, and how different it is, and. That's, I think, what sets us apart.
And the other thing that sets it apart, the most unique part of all of this, no rehearsals. These people come in, they pick their song, they let the band know, they have a list of about 500 songs they do, and then it's maybe 30 seconds of here's your key, and then that's it. And it has turned out so well, right? Which is another great say to the performance.
We do, it is kind of nice. Like, even today, we're about a month out, a little bit more than a month out, and we do let the band know the songs. And then the people know what songs they're going to sing, which is great. But again, the two of them together, you would think that there's some rehearsal that needs to happen. And when you see some of the magic on stage, like some of the stuff, like we're talking standing ovation type stuff here. And this is in Sarnia. Like, these people are from Sarnia. It's not like I'm bringing them in from elsewhere. These singers are all, like, they could be your neighbor, they could be your nurse, they could be your teacher. Like, it's just incredible how, and I love finding those people that are just like, wait, who are you? Like, and you've done what? And you sing, and then they absolutely crush, a song, and they have a big voice. So it is very surprising. So I like bringing that aspect of, like, no rehearsal is really cool. But yet we're still allowing both groups to practice but on their own. But like you say, we kick them out on stage, and it is something to sing, but then it's something to sing in front of a packed house of 600 people. Or following someone who just got a standing ovation.
Right, you're like, I'm next, really?
Boy, it is definitely packed with a bunch of these different things.
Well, it's turned out really well, Adam, and congratulations to you.
Thanks, man.
I really enjoy what you're doing, and thanks for asking me to be a part of it too, because I really
every year, buddy.
And I got that on tape now. It's April 22nd, right? It's a Wednesday night at the Imperial Theatre. And how much are tickets?
Tickets are $30. Okay. And they're going quick. I think we got close to 400 sold already.
It will sell out. It has sold out every year except for the 1 year, I think, was maybe the first year. Only 10 tickets weren't sold. So don't wait to get your tickets for this.
Go get them.
Right on. Sarnia Sings, Volume 4. We're going to go back in the studio now and talk some more about that. You know, Sarnia is great for music. Sarnia Lambton just seems to be kind of like a music hub here, and I'm running into more and more musicians. We're seeing new ones pop up, but there's some that have been doing it for quite a while, and Jason McDonald is one of those folks. Jason, thanks for being here today.
Hey, no problem at all. I thoroughly enjoy this.
Yeah.
You know, my first interview in quite a long time.
Oh, there you go. Well, it was Fred Craster that kind of is how we got connected. Or you and I have known each other for a long time before, but
well, yeah, because we, you know, do the karaoke thing.
Yeah,
and,
there you go.
You know, and I'm real good friends with Marty, and
yeah, that's
and
right.
you know, Marty, he's always still playing his
Yeah.
his bass and still singing and carrying on, and you know, another fabulous friend of mine, and you know, God bless him, he's amazing, and you know, as I said, you know, Fred and I met down at the flea market almost 20 years ago. He was selling organs. He had the double keyboard organs, and you know, he was sitting there playing his organs and making music, and I came in and introduced myself, and as it happened, he had one he wasn't playing, so I sat down with him and we started playing together on the organs, and then found out we both played guitar, so we arranged to meet for a coffee one day, and you know, got talking about playing music on the guitar, and that's where it started. And you know, he lived over on Palmerston at the time, down near Campbell, and he was having jam sessions in the kitchen at his place.
Oh yeah.
So I was invited over and brought my guitar, and one thing led to another, and you know, as they say, here we are.
Here's the rest is history, right?
There, yeah, as Paul Harvey would say, now you know the rest of the story.
There you go. So it's the Town and Country Travelers.
Yes, it is.
The group that you guys
yes, it
sort
is.
of co-founded together and got things going. But you've been playing for a long time yourself. And you were just telling me before we started this interview a little story about how you got started with your dad playing.
Well, because my dad, since I can remember, since long time ago, my dad always played guitar, you know, and he always had one around the house. And like I said, Dave, he never ever discouraged me from playing. He always said, you know, it's there in the corner, you know, it's already tuned up, feel free to play it, and if it's not tuned, come and see me and I'll tune it and you can play it. And you know, and I loved it. Yeah. You know, I enjoyed that. Because
so are you self-taught?
Basically, my dad taught me my first maybe 2 or 3, 4 worth of lessons, 1 week's worth of lessons in my lifetime, but you know, that never seemed to pan out because you know, in my mind I was, you know, just a teenager then, 13, 14 years old, and you know, and I had this, like every teenager in the planet, you know, we have this idea that I don't want to learn that, I want to learn this.
Right.
I want to learn the music my dad's doing. So I wanted to be like my dad. And you know, my dad, I have to admit, Frank McDonald is an absolute beautiful man. He's a beautiful man. He was a long haul truck driver for almost 50 years and taught me everything I need to know about music and about life. And you know, I'm so grateful to him for everything.
That's
you know, he's a blessing in my eyes.
What's your favorite country western, or is it country, or what's your style that you really like?
The style that I prefer, there's actually a couple, because I also enjoy rockabilly as well, but my style of country music goes back to the 1950s, 60s, and 70s.
Oh, okay.
More or less because I enjoy the western swing, they call it, the Texas swing. I enjoy the more traditional country music with a, you know, where you have a pedal steel guitar player in your band and a fiddle player and whatever. And it's kind of a shame because Eddie Stubbs, if you're not familiar with him, he's the radio announcer on AM 650 WSM out of Nashville.
Okay.
And he also is the announcer for the Grand Ole Opry. And I remember he said one time, if you come to Nashville and you're a pedal steel guitar player or a fiddle player, you won't find work in music today.
Oh.
Country music just doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
You have to more or less go to places like Texas and Bakersfield, California, you know, where, you know, you have the Buck Owens sound and the Merle Haggard sound and the Willie Nelson, of course, down in Texas. Yeah. George Strait down in Texas, another one of my favorite entertainers, George Harvey Strait. Yeah. You know, he's a beautiful entertainer. And
he's an amazing entertainer.
He is, and I grew up listening to that.
Yeah.
And I have to admit that I am very pleased that CHOK has gone back to country.
Oh, you're happy for that, are you?
I'm happy because, and I'm not even sure why they did it, to be honest.
Yeah.
If it was something they just decided because they were country and then they went, back to the modern, you know, the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
And then they went back to country again, which is happy for me because I spent most of my life listening to Q Country 107 out of Port Huron.
Right.
But their problem is they've got a program on Sunday mornings called Sunday Morning Classics, and they don't play anything classic. All of their stuff that they play is all, you know, Garth Brooks, and they play, you know, Keith Urban, and they play all that, you know, from the late 80s, early 90s, early 2000s.
That's almost classic now.
Well, it could be considered, yeah, if it's 30 years old, but
so have you been listening to Scott Maneri on the Sunday morning show?
Oh, I've been listening to him. I actually went to see him play because he was, I don't know if he still is, but he was good friends with a very good friend of mine, Gary Boudreau.
Okay. Yeah.
Played drums for him for a lot of years.
Yep.
And I've known Gary because Gary and Marty played together as far back as when they were at the Gilwood.
Yep. Oh, wow.
And that's back in the 60s. You know, and I just love them guys because they taught me a lot. My dad taught me a lot about music and a lot about, you know, being on the stage and a lot about, because when we started, Dad and I, my dad decided to put a group together of just local guys that he was friends with that played music, and we called ourselves the Tuesday Night Jammers. And we used to play at the Dow People Center before they tore it down and built the Suncor Agora.
Right.
And, you know, we were always, and we had the Musicians Club here in Sarnia up on Queen Street where the,
I remember that.
And you know, I started, I got a big break in there because on weekends, you know, it was free for all in there. You could go in and you could play and enjoy yourself on the stage, and, you know, they had a cash bar, you could buy whatever, and food if you wanted it, but, you know, I enjoyed that because it got me out into the community and playing with other people rather than just playing at home for my own enjoyment.
Yeah. And what kind of things, I mean, there's quite a scene, the music scene's changed a lot in Sarnia in the last many years, right? What kind of things did you learn from the other musicians?
Well, what I learned from the other musicians, and I know this for some people that may read this or watch this, find hard to believe, but the one thing I learned amongst many was patience and, you know, dignity. You know, I learned that, you know, I'm not the only musician in town.
Right.
And so I can, you know, and that, you know, I may not be the greatest lead guitar player or the greatest bass player or the greatest drummer because I play drums as well, a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I may not be the greatest. There's other musicians out there that are better than I am, and I can learn from them. But yet there's other musicians out there that are just starting out that are not as good as I am, so they can in turn learn from me.
Right.
And so I gave lessons myself for quite a few years. I learned how to do that. And, you know, I don't read music. I basically play by ear.
Oh, really?
But I can teach people the chords, and I can teach people, you know, rhythm patterns on the guitar, teach them notes on the fretboard and where they go and where your fingers go. And so I did that for a while, and to sort of encourage other people to get into music.
Yeah.
Because music is a gift that, you know, I believe in a talent that everybody has. They don't think they have it, but you know, they're, I can't play a guitar. I'm never good at that. But you don't know until you try.
Yeah.
I felt the same way when I was a kid.
Is it ever too late to learn to play that?
No. Because I basically a couple of years ago, I was teaching a guy who was 85 years old.
Wow.
Had never picked up a guitar in his life, and within a year he was playing basic chords and simple chords, and just because his son played, but his son wouldn't teach him, so he wanted to learn. And so he came to one of our shows, Fred and I's shows, and he thought, well, geez, I'd like to learn that guitar. So, you know, I said, well, you should go buy one, you know. But I said, do me a favor. I said, when you go into music stores like Picker's Alley or Long and McQuaid's, if you're just starting out, don't go and buy a $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 Martin or a Gibson or whatever. You know, check with your pawn shop, check with the, you know, see if they got anything used. $100, $150, you know, bring it over. I'll throw it.
To see if you like it, right?
See if you like it first, because you never know if you're going to spend $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 on a guitar. You know, whether it's an electric guitar or a solid or acoustic guitar, whatever, Dave. You know, and you find, you know, a week or two later, I've lost interest or whatever. I'm not doing this. This is not for me. My fingers are bleeding.
Wasn't money very well spent.
It wasn't, no. And it just sits there in the closet.
I have a guitar sitting in my closet that I played a long time ago, but I couldn't tell you what an A chord or whatever is. So I keep saying one of these days, but that day hasn't come yet.
Well, when it ever does, come and see me.
Well, there you go.
You know, we can sit down and we can have a jam and try to relight the old flame, I guess.
Teach me something.
And
sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. I see a lot of people that I do know that play guitar, and there's a real social aspect to it all, and kind of a mutual musician respect that happens.
Absolutely, there is. I used to think when I first started playing out in public, I was about 19 or 20, and I got a job it's called Neon Moon now, but it used to be called Tunney's Tavern.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a group of guys in there, and I was good friends with them all. Rick Duquette and Silvio Bove and Wilford Duquette and them guys. And I got hired as a bass player. Okay. And never made any money in the place because Silvio never paid me, but what I did take from that, regardless of whether or not I got paid, what I learned was how to interact with other musicians, and I learned how to have fun regardless.
Yeah.
Because, as we said earlier, if you're not happy with what you're doing, find something different to do.
Yeah. And
I've always been happy with my music.
Yeah.
You
can tell just by the way you talk about it that it's kind of a therapy for you, is it?
As a matter of fact, it is. Now, I can listen to guys like Keith Urban and Vince Gill and Brad Paisley and these guys, lead guitar players. And I wish, I keep thinking to myself, damn, I wish I could play that good. But then I also look at myself and think, I'm happy.
Having a good time.
I'm having a good time, and, whether I can play that good or not, I still enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm grateful to my dad and grateful to God and whoever for teaching me and giving me that ability to at least be able to play the way I can.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed that. And the other thing you asked about, what did I learn from being with other musicians? Yeah. One of the biggest things was humility. I learned humility because, I have to be humble. As I said, if I'm sitting in a room playing with a room full of guys that are 10 times better than I am, I'm not the type to pick up my guitar and walk out and say, well, geez, you guys are too good for me. I'm going to see you later.
Right.
I would sit with them anyway and play because at least I can learn something from them. I can learn different chords. I can learn different styles of lead guitar. I can learn, if I'm playing bass, I've learned a lot from Marty.
Yeah.
How to play bass better, how to play better.
Musician.
He is, and how to play better chords on the bass and better bass licks and run-ins and stuff and, rhythm.
You mentioned earlier, too, that you like, you play in the nursing homes. We're here at Vision Nursing Home doing this interview. And it's because you want to give back to the community because of what the community did for you. Talk about that.
Well, okay. Well, one of the things the community did for me was give me the opportunity to play. I would have been a basement musician or in a garage band, so to speak, if I hadn't been invited to join the group at Tunney's Tavern and play.
Right.
And that got me started. And then, of course, another band I was with, the Rising Tides, with Bill Bell and Drew Shepard.
Yep.
He's gone on to do bigger and better things, Drew. He's doing his Elvis impersonations now and karaoke and whatnot. But I learned a lot from those two, how to play and how to play better. And, because we weren't just into country at that point. We were into the 50s and 60s rock and roll and rockabilly as well. And so I learned about that as well. So I picked up Elvis and I picked up Ricky Nelson and I picked up Carl Perkins and, Chuck Berry and some of these other guys, and I learned.
And you did the Ricky Nelson show at the Sarnia Library Theatre.
Yes, I did.
You've got another one coming up. I think it's March 18th, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And we're doing a folk show.
Yes.
Folk music from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly looking forward to that because, to be honest with you, I don't know doodly squat about folk music. I've listened to it over the years and I've had an appreciation for a lot of it, but never really knew any of it.
Yeah.
As far as to be able to play it on the guitar.
So you just recently did a Ricky Nelson show, and you've got another show coming up at the library.
We did a 50s rock and roll show, and we did two country music shows, a tribute to the Grand Ole Opry days of the 1950s and the 1960s.
And you got another one coming up on March the 18th.
And I must say that the Grand Ole Opry shows were probably two of my favorite shows, being that the style of music, and I was really, in my heyday at the time, I had a great time with those shows. And I must admit, with this new show, it's going to be an experience for me, but I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I have to also admit that, you know, in case I hadn't mentioned, you know, I'm working with a great bunch of musicians. You know, I'm working with Fred Craster, and I'm working with Hugh Evers, and I'm working with Lise Michaud and Annette Dillon, and, you know, people like that, and, you know.
Very talented group.
Very talented people, and they should be accredited to what they do.
Yeah.
You know, they are very, very decent people to work with, and I have a lot of fun.
That's great.
You know, and especially with Fred.
Yeah.
You know, Fred and I are buddies.
Fred's a good guy. He's funny.
Oh, he's funny, and you know, for a Dutchman, he's funny, and I just, you know, crazy funny. You know, like he, you know, enjoys what he does. He'll be 80 in August.
Yeah.
And you know, he is just a great bunch of laughs, and you know, even off the stage, you know, we get together for coffee and we talk and we socialize. And
well, I can't imagine both of you talking in the same room together because you both got lots to say. That's for sure.
Well, that's for sure. I can admit that.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for giving me your time here today.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for coming in to enjoy this.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Oh, you're welcome. We're going to give you all the dates that are coming up with the Town and Country Travelers. Next one coming up on March the 18th, and they've got some more coming up in April. We're going to take you back into the studio and show you that right now.